Museum, which is, have you been to the Mutter Museum?
No, I have not.
Oh man, you'll love the Mutter Museum.
So he painted this thing called the Dr. Gross Clinic for Dr. Gross. It was like a retirement gift kind of thing.
And it was gross.
But it showed like a live surgery, and people come into the museum, and this is something that was painted like 100 years ago. But just the detail that he put into it, the incision on the boy's leg and everything like that, people are just like, they're just like, they can't look.
But they watch Game of Thrones where
they
the
watch
guy's
Game
like
of Thrones,
disemboweled, and they're taking his body organs out.
Yeah, but
that's my point. There, you just made my point right there.
But people are mad at the Philadelphia Museum of Art when it's art. Game of Thrones is not art. It's schlocky television for people who watch Pornhub normally. But when Pornhub's not available and Game of Thrones is on, they watch Game of Thrones.
Correct.
Did you see that story?
No, but I watched Game of Thrones. I don't know anything about the Pornhub simulation. But
I'll give you here's another quick update from the breaking news file.
I got you.
You know what Pornhub is, right?
I think I've heard of it.
On the night on Game of Thrones Season 7 premiere on Sunday night.
Yes, the numbers were up.
No, the numbers were up on Game of Thrones. They had 16 million people watched it, right?
Of course.
16 million people on HBO. Incidentally, Pornhub's traffic was down 4.5% while Game of Thrones was on.
That's a huge drop, dude.
You're damn right it is. Huge is right.
That's a huge drop.
Interestingly enough, Sunday night in that time slot is normally Pornhub's busiest time. To prove that it's Game of Thrones related, that on the night of the Season 6 finale, Pornhub's numbers went down over 5% during the Game of Thrones season finale last year. Coincidence?
I think
so.
not.
The bottom line is, if you're not watching Game of Thrones,
you're
on waxing the carrot, watching Pornhub, and looking for grotesque, gruesome scenes of sexual proclivities.
So when winter is coming, no one else is. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
It's not that busy, man. It's not that busy.
Oh, that might have been your best line
on a Broadway show.
No, my best line.
People whack off on Pornhub when Game of Thrones isn't on.
I'm just saying, man.
And even OJ doesn't even get Pornhub in the big house, and he's going to get out of there tomorrow.
He doesn't get HP. You think he's going to get acquitted?
Absolutely, not acquitted.
But you think he's going to get parole?
Absolutely.
I think OJ's getting
let me make it a stone cold, guaranteed, lead pipe lock. Right now, you bet the house on it right now. If you can get odds, I believe you can't even get odds on this. It is so much an overwhelming lock, despite masturbatory practices on himself in the prison. OJ Simpson will be sprung loose. The juice will be loose, and the first thing he'll do is head to the airport, to the Hertz counter.
How's that for timing, Tony? How's that bad?
No time to waste, and nobody knows that better than Hertz. Whether it's picking up or dropping off your Ford or other fine car, nobody has more to do it faster.
Run, OJ!
The superstar in rent-a-car. The superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
Damn right you know it.
God, that's so
How was that for timing? I was feeling you, Tony. I was feeling where you were
on
going
the
with
same
this.
way. It's almost like this show is a finely tuned, well-produced machine.
Almost. Almost. So close, Tony. So close.
Remember those O.J. Simpson commercials?
No, but I do remember hearing about them, yes.
Running over like when white lady is screaming, "Go, O.J.!"
I do remember that OJ. I do know one thing, though. I think OJ is, I don't know, maybe you can agree with me or not, because you're a little more seasoned than I am, but I think OJ may be the one guy who, like, he was the original, like, transcended race. I don't think.
I mean, he was.
OJ was accepted by everybody,
absolutely,
no matter what.
Remember, he came from nothing. He was a kid in the hood. Went to USC. Became a great football player. Won the Heisman Trophy. Went to Buffalo. Was one of the greatest running backs in NFL history.
Rushed for 2,000 yards in 14 games.
And then became a celebrity. Was on every TV show. Had commercials. Was on Monday Night Football. Was in the Naked Gun movies. Right? Yep. I mean, he was beloved. He was the absolute perfect guy. Yep. He was the perfect athlete. Guy comes from nowhere, becomes a star, beautiful smile, great looking guy, had everything he ever wanted, and then obviously the situation happens with his ex-wife and the Ron Goldman dead. He gets acquitted of murder charges, and then he gets sued and loses a civil case for $30 million, but never paid a dime because his pension is protected.
It's crazy.
His NFL pension is $19,000 a month. Do you realize that?
No.
But the Goldman family that sued him and won in civil court, is supposed to get $30 million. They haven't gotten a dime.
Wait a minute.
Because they
NFL
can't
players get 19 grand a month.
Well, now OJ Simpson did because he was one of the all-time greats. So his pension is not based on his salary and based on time served. Not in jail, in the NFL.
I was gonna say.
So $19,000 a month pension, plus he's got like $3 million in his 401k.
Which they can't touch that? Why?
No.
'Cause in the state of California,
It's
they're not
protected. I don't know if it's a California law or those were protected
Understood.
from
Okay.
a lawsuit.
Understood.
Right? So OJ is going to have all this money when he gets out of
So
jail.
people are worried about OJ like having to worry about money and things like that. OJ's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Financially, he's fine.
Yeah, the question is, will people accept him? Will he be able to go out? Will people still say, hey, you know what, all's forgiven? Or will they always think about, no, I'm not, because you got away with double murder?
So let me ask a question. We made a joke earlier about Jose. Actually, it's not a joke. It's a real thing about Jose making demands to appear at Fantasy Fest here in Philadelphia. What do you think OJ is going to ask for that first interview? Because you know the phone's going to ring for him to sit down with Boston
no doubt.
Walters. But what do you think that number is? You think he could realistically say, give me $5 million, and they'll give him to him? To be the
I don't
first person to sit down and talk to
Absolutely.
OJ Simpson after years in
Now
jail.
that money, a portion of that money will end up going
He'll
to.
still make bank, though.
Oh yeah,
no
he'll
problem
still make
with that.
bank. And
Is it a number that...
actually, I think any money that he actually makes from now on, because I know that the pension is
He doesn't have to work.
protected,
He doesn't have to work.
And there's property in Florida, I believe.
yes,
that
he
is
owns
being-
a house in Florida
That
that
is
they can't
protected.
touch.
They can't touch because of a homesteading.
But meanwhile, they're going to
act.
take my house away for missing a month alimony payment.
Of course. But he doesn't have to. But he doesn't have to work. So what I'm saying is, though, is that is there really a number? Can he sit there and say, you know what, I want whatever? He can come up with any actual,
Yes,
and they'll
absolutely.
give it to him. And they'll
But
give it to him.
that's a given. But the bigger question is, will he go out in public
I believe
and
so.
have people say, all right, OJ, good job? Or will he be forever ridiculed?
I think that
I believe so.
I think that he
You
will
don't think
have
he'll
to-
be accepted again?
I
in the
think he
public?
will, yes.
Because I think that there's a lot of people who weren't around during the trial who see it as almost like a TV show.
23
like it's
years
not,
ago, Tony, it was
you
like-
I know,
because-
but the guy got away with double. For the most part,
People-
there are very few people who believe. Now, you could have rooted for him to get away with it, and he had a great legal team. But the bottom line is, there are people who think that
I
he
think-
skated from killing two people.
I think that there are a lot of people under the age of 35 that truly don't even remember. They
It
don't
doesn't matter whether they remember.
No, but I'm
people
saying
don't remember
that-
what Charles Manson did.
Correct.
Exactly.
Or
That's
Kelly's
what I'm
doing right
saying.
now.
Like they see it as something that happened on a TV show or a movie, and it's not real to them. So the only thing that is real is that here is this iconic figure that they remember from their childhood, from TV.
That's not the way you're supposed to look at things if you're a rational human being.
Well,
Listen, I'm
yeah.
not saying.
We're not
That's
irrational.
What I'm saying to you is
They are
that
not a
what
rational
happened in this
society.
case has the parole hearing has nothing to do with prior convictions because he wasn't convicted.
Right.
Remember, OJ Simpson is innocent of a double
Yes,
murder.
he's absolutely innocent.
So, but whoever decides, a judge in this parole hearing,
allegedly,
cannot use the fact that he probably got away with double murder.
No, he was acquitted of murder.
Correct. So he has no prior record in the court of law, even though he lost a civil case. Bottom line is, there are a lot of people who were rooting for OJ when he got away from murder because it was time for somebody to get away with murder because a lot of people
Let's
who
be
have
real.
money.
Let's be real. It was a racial thing. All right.
It was because a lot of,
It
no
was.
doubt, but race played a lot into it.
Yes.
But the fact is, a lot of people were glad that finally a man of color beat the system.
Yes, that's
when rich white guys beat the system all the time. But it still doesn't defend the fact. I don't care whoever gets away with murder. I don't care what race, color, creed, religion, ethnicity they are. You know, if you get away with murder and it's obvious that you were guilty, I don't think you have sympathy for that person if they get away with it. And then, unfortunately, karma caught up and he gets thrown in jail for holding up a stupid bunch of guys in a hotel room for his paraphernalia.
Well, I
He wanted to
think
get his stuff back. He wanted
Here's
to
the
get
other
his
thing that I think is going to make a big impact on how people think of him is that they just did that huge expose on, I forget what channel it was. Do you remember?
The OJ 30 for 30 for not 30
No,
for
no,
30.
no.
The OJ Simpson
the
story.
whole documentary
It was a
thing.
mini. It was a series.
Yeah, it was a mini documentary, and they had all.
Oh,
these
yeah,
people
like David
invested-
Schwimmer was playing like.
No. I'm not even talking about that. That was a mini series. They actually had a documentary where investigators took all the evidence
I
and
didn't see
supposedly.
that one.
The conclusion or the implication in that was that he actually was not guilty and that it was his eldest son from a previous marriage that killed her. And the way they made that look, and the ratings were huge. People were talking about it all over social media.
But the bottom line is, Robin, because we don't have much time, because we have to sign off.
My point is that I think a lot of people are going to see things like that and go, you know what? He probably isn't guilty.
People didn't see that documentary. People make decisions.
People
give a bit of opinions without any facts.
People see that, but they didn't. But you're talking about people that actually watched that entire trial take place in front of their eyes, though.
But there's a generation of people that have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
I was on the air on ESPN Radio Live when the Bronco chase was going on.
So you had the
1994.
Bronco on the monitor in the
I mean, it was the biggest story. Everybody every channel stopped what they were doing and went live to it. It was the biggest story of that year. The Bronco chase when OJ Simpson was being driven away by Al Cowlings on the 405, whatever freeway it was. I don't remember if it was the 4 or 405 or the 5. But that was a huge story. So that'll be interesting to see. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just saying that there will be people who will still consider him persona non grata, and there will be people who will say, hey, you know what? It's all is forgiven, OJ.
I
don't think he's going to get endorsements. I don't think this is going to be like Kobe Bryant after he went through the whole rape allegation thing. Remember, he lost all Sprite. Everybody dropped him.
I can't
and then a couple of years went by, and Kobe Bryant became a star again. It was all forgotten.
I can't
Not
imagine,
forgotten, but forgiven.
Right.
Nobody
can't
ever forgets,
him
but they forgive.
getting major endorsements. But I do think that he's going to end up being a okay celebrity. Like, he's never going to be back where he was.
Well, no, he's 70 years old, Robin.
Yeah, I know.
I think he'll get the early, like I said, he'll get the money for the early interviews. There may be a book deal kind of thing. They'll probably drag him out to like Good Morning America, see what that kind of stuff's like, and then he'll probably, to be honest with you, I don't think there's going to be anything where he's going to be out in the front of the media or anything like that. I don't think he's going to be in the limelight. I think he's going to be fading back and just kind of that's it. I don't think you're going to see OJ on a grand stage.
I think you're going to see OJ back on
like
the golf
Dancing
course.
with the Stars or something.
No, he's going to go on the golf course again at Bel Air to try to find the real killers. I think where he was before.
You think so,
he's
Tony?
Back out there looking for the real killers.
You think so?
At Bel Air and all the other countries.
Both gloves in hand.
Both gloves on, and he'll go out and try to find the real killers. And we'll catch them, and then become a hero and have his own series on TLC or Discovery Channel.
And what's that going to be called?
Or True TV.
Or he'll bring back his show, Juiced.
And that's it. Robin can't do a second Florida update.
No, well, I mean, I could.
Should we do the second Florida update or just get the hell out of here, Luigi?
Hold on, let's do it.
It's a story that's near and dear to all of us Italian Americans.
Oh, well, of course.
Especially when we talk sausage a lot on the show. Let's go to your dude. Is that an Italian sausage falling on you, or are you just happy to see me? Here she is, Florida's favorite. It's not since Anita Bryant has someone loved the Florida sunshine that is Miss Robin.
Yes.
I could not fit one more thing inside of me.
Exactly.
Exactly right. Well, I do love Italian sausage.
Give me the damn Florida music in the background there, Luigi. All right, bro. What the hell's the matter with you, bro?
Dateline, Deerfield Beach, Florida. Now, we all love the Italian party, the sausage party.
I didn't see that movie, though. Was that any good sausage
I haven't
party?
seen it.
No.
It's on Netflix, though, if you want to catch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it at 3 a.m.
Immediately.
And we all know that in December, everybody's kind of waiting to hear something up on the roof, doing a little chinka-chinka, but...
Santa does chinka-chinka up there?
I don't know, but...
Isn't that racist? You say that.
I was trying to make the sound of jingle bells.
It's
not chinka-chinka.
Jingle, jingle,
It's
jingle,
jingle.
jingle,
Like jingle
whatever.
bells, not chinka bells.
After 2 glasses of
Who's performing on
wine...
the main stage now? Cheerleaders tonight. If you catch it, 12 and 2. Chinka bells.
However...
I'm getting sued. I don't give a shit.
The Adair family was awakened...
Not Jim Adair, formerly from Crossing
No.
Broad. Okay.
The Adair family was awakened last Saturday morning by a loud thud on the roof, and it was not Santa.
When was this? Last weekend?
Last weekend. They got up and found 2 packages of frozen sausage in their side yard, and then they said to each other, we heard something up on the roof. Let's go up on the roof and check to see what else if we find. And sure enough, there were 3 more packages of Italian pork sausages.
Hot or mild?
A total of 15 pounds of
Of
Italian
frozen sausages.
That's a lot of sausage.
frozen sausage
That's a sausage fest right there,
was
baby.
found in bags marked William Land Service, a land clearing company in Alabama.
What are they doing with sausages?
It was probably a gift from Abe Froman, the sausage king of Chicago.
Now,
That's good Abe Froman knowledge
That is
right there.
great Abe Froman's knowledge.
the Adair family was quite clearly baffled as to how the sausage
And these
ended
fully
up on
frozen
their...
or were they partially defrosted?
See what happens
No,
when
they were fully frozen. Like even the picture, you can
Were
see
they
the
the
ice
links
on
or
it.
were they the full tubes?
I don't
And
know.
what kind of casing are we talking about? Did they
Yeah.
snap?
So now their son, Austin Adair, that's a great name, isn't it?
It is a good name.
Called the company, and he said
No
that
fennel in this one pipe. What the hell's the matter with you? There's a finocchio in there.
the William Land
Stunato,
Service,
disgraziato, disonorato.
My ski.
the William Land Service Company said that they had absolutely no idea
How the sausage got
how
on the
the
roof.
sausage got on their roof.
It's a
They
mess.
even sent them pictures
Link
of the
by link.
sausage, but they have yet to hear back.
Do we have a link to this story?
I don't think so, Tony. I wonder if it's the droids, man. That's what happens when you let droids deliver things.
No, so
Was it
so,
Amazon?
The Jenny Adair, the mother, thought, well, maybe it fell out of a plane. Maybe it had
How
something.
many packs of sausages?
It was 15 pounds. That's
a lot of frickin' sausage,
That's
bro.
a lot of sausage.
Damn.
So she thought maybe
It's a
it was
good
the,
summer around
maybe
here,
it was
man.
like, maybe it was a drug deal, like up
Drug
in the
deal
air.
gone wrong.
I don't know, like
An airdrop
It
to
had to have been
a
out of an air.
destitute Italian-American family.
I haven't seen that much sausage at a WWE event.
It had to have
I haven't
fallen
seen
out of
that
an
much
airplane.
sausage since a Trust the Process get-together at Xfinity Live.
So the Adair family is putting out a message saying that if anyone knows where the sausage might have come from, or if you have any information, please email share at
Cher is handling sausage now? Well, I know her son isn't anymore, but...
Share. Not that kind of share, Tony.
What's her name, Chastity?
Yes, it's
No, it's Chaz, I'm sorry.
Chaz.
Formerly Chastity.
Tony
Now Chaz.
Bruno. It is share as in please share with me.
Oh, that's share, okay.
That kind of share.
Not the wacko share.
No,
It's completely
at
gone
local
She can only turn back time, Tony.
She needs to turn back about 30 years before we can find out when she was actually mentally capable of uttering a sentence without being a nutcase.
But seriously, can you like all of a sudden out of the middle of nowhere?
See, that's the problem. They're up there worrying about how it got there. We're down here grilling. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right. I'm like, damn, fire up the grill. We got enough gas in
Please
there.
get the peppers, get the onions, Robert,
Damn
turn the
right.
goddamn oven on. Let's get this
I
thing
need some
going.
rolls. Go get me some rolls.
Especially if it was still frozen, it's still fine.
Exactly.
It's still fine.
So they still don't know at this hour.
They don't. As of this article that was posted today, they do not know.
Wow.
The company, I'm telling you, I think it was a drug deal up in, there was like a 007 scuffle up in the air, and the cargo bay opened.
I'm
Who does
009
sausage for drugs in Florida? Well, in Florida, they'll trade anything
Yeah.
for drugs.
Exactly. You
But,
gotta watch those mules,
it was
man.
up in the air, and the cargo bay opened. They were fighting. The gun went off, and it released the hatch, and all of the
like
paraphernalia fell out
John
of the
Wick of
plane.
sausage delivery, Tony. I guess you would say earlier.
Why doesn't it ever happen here in South? If there's ever going to be a sausage drop, it should be in South Philadelphia.
People will be out there dancing, singing to the heavens. Are you kidding me? They'll be
It'll be
walking
like-
with open arms.
Like the WKRP Thanksgiving turkey
Oh,
drop
God.
episode.
Oh Lord!
No,
the
you know what?
humanity.
Yeah, and local radio station will be arguing with ketchup and mustard on the goddamn thing. That's what it is.
The humanity.
Speaking of National Hot Dog Day, Tony, hot dog sandwich or not? What say you? I tackled this on my show.
Was it a hot dog? Or did they reach the conclusion today?
Is a hot dog a sandwich? I don't know. I turned it off after the first 30 seconds. Doesn't matter.
It's an outrage.
It's an outrage.
All I'm saying is if you want to drop sausage anywhere, you drop it over South Philadelphia.
And you drop it while it's hot.
Damn right.
And that's going to do it for tonight, I think.
That's it. That's it, folks.
Yeah,
Hell of a show, man.
I want a nice sausage and onions and pepper sandwich right now.
We need that. I need that.
I want that.
I need to go to sleep, actually.
I like that.
You know what? Right now you look like
It's
Gandhi.
not that busy, man.
Look at.
He does look like Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Gandhi. What's his name playing
no,
Gandhi?
No, just the one thing over one shoulder. All
You're
the
the
way down.
Maharaja?
See, wait. You have to go all the way down like this. And now you look like you're wearing like the toga thing that Gandhi had on.
What was the dude that Ben Kingsley was
Ben
Gandhi,
Kingsley,
right?
yeah.
Did he win an Academy Award for that? He was phenomenal.
I need to screenshot this, Tony. You look like Gandhi right now.
Hey, I'm a peaceful man.
Got to get this guy Maharaji
I'm
Mac.
all about peace, love, and soul, as the great Don Cornelius once said. In the meantime,
Look at this thing, man. It's horrible.
we want to thank everybody for checking in tonight.
It does look like freaking Gandhi, man. It's great.
Hey, I'm ready to get. Hey, baby, why don't you come in here and join my
Why don't you get
yoga session? Right here, getting that downward-facing dog, baby. That's right here, yeah.
There he is. It's the Gandhi of radio, sports radio.
Damn right. It's all about peace.
It was fun tonight, man.
It was we had a lot of fun tonight. Did we not?
Riddle didn't show up tonight, though. Lily made a main appearance.
I
Let's
know,
get
wait,
a
wait.
live shot of Lily.
Lily's in the house.
Lily, my baby girl. Lily, come here, honey.
Oh, look at her turning her back to you. Ah,
Bitch.
bitch.
So at the same time, we all went, bitch. That's great. Come here, Lil.
Lily's the baby girl.
Oh,
She did knock
Is it
the
gonna
bottle
fall?
over.
That's a
Don't
good job
forget,
by her.
go get yourself some Michael and David wine.
You gotta do it.
You'll go any wine store, you'll find it.
Here's the best part.
Seven Deadlies, Earthquake Zin.
I love it when I came in. I opened up the bar. I said, Tone, I said, we got to open a Raps for it. What are you talking about? I got one bottle of freaking Raps. I open it, go,
You
goddamn Raps.
open the best bottle every time.
Well, you hoard all the rest of it.
That's bullshit. How many bottles of Rapture have you had?
4.
How many?
No. 4.
Damn right. I have it right here, but it's down.
Come on, bro. I've had
Anyway.
4, yeah. One that you didn't know about.
Michael and DavidWinery.com. Join their wine club. It's phenomenal stuff out there in Lodi, California.
You will not be sorry.
You know, no, you won't. For the money, I've had $70, $80, $90 bottles of wine, and it doesn't compare.
Well, you know, here's the
To
other
the
thing.
Earthquake Zin.
Like a lot of times, you'll take a chance because you never know, you don't
Right.
know about it, and you're like, let's see what it's. This way, you know it's going to be good.
Exactly right. You will not be disappointed. That is a guarantee. The Tony Bruno Show.
Guarantee.
In the meantime, don't drink and drive out there, all right? And don't text and drive, because texting is distracted driving, and it's a national disgrace. Don't text and drive. And God bless America while you're at it, because it is a beautiful country. We'll see you next week, everybody. Luigi Curto 22, Miss Robin Austin, Tony Bruno Show on Twitter.
Thanks for listening to the Tony Bruno Show.
We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Come back soon.